Alright, so here we got your practice for Thursday's test. It is mandatory, it even says it is. I have to count it. I haven't finished editing it, so I'll count it up, see how many points it's worth in just a little bit. Alright, number one. Number one is an absolute value inequality. It's an absolute value of the quadratic. It actually still looks like quadratic, it's just always positive. Exactly what Y1 says, you're going to have to go to Math and then Num and choose ABS. And some of these calculators actually say ABS, and that's the deal. You did ABS for absolute value. So ABS of 5x squared minus 3x plus 1 will go into Y1, and 2x plus 8 will go into Y2. So let's see what that looks like, and we'll go through the process here. Again, to pull up absolute value, you've got to go to Math, Num, because I know that's how you feel. And you'll even see there, it's the function ABS, absolute value. Hopefully you know how to raise something to an exponent. Use that little rooftop caret key. Some of y'all haven't been pushing buttons in a calculator and it shows. Oops. I am exhausted, so I'm probably going to make lots of typos. And then 2x plus 8 into y2. Then I'm going to do a zoom 6. You always do a zoom 6. Always zoom 6. Standard zoom. We are actually going to need a window adjustment. We're going to have to look up because there's another intersection up here. So we'll go to window, Y max. I'm going to see if 20 does the job. I want to see that second intersection. And it does. So my adjustment, yours might be different than mine. Hold on a second, I'm recording. Y max is 20. Yeah. Algebra 2. Alright, on to solutions. So you get to use the intersect feature. You can hit second, trace, and then intersect. That shouldn't be too hard on you. We've done that before. Second trace. Scroll down to intersect. And you get your little cursor close, and you press enter 3 times. Once, twice, thrice. It says along the top to round to the nearest 10,000th, which is the 4th decimal place. 0.7845 is one of them. And there are 2 intersections. This was one answer. There's another one over here. So second trace 5 for intersect. Take your little blinky cursor dude. I'm hitting the right arrow button, and I'm going to get him close. I'm going to press enter, enter, enter. There's the other one, 1.7845. All right, that's number one. It's not hard. Number 2 is going to bug some of y'all. There's about 7 or 8 of y'all that cannot put things into y equals mx plus b. But we're pressing y equals, right? We have to solve each equation for y. Otherwise, you just can't do it. So solve each equation for y. So I'm just going to move my 5x over. Negative 3y is negative 5x plus 12. And I'm going to divide by my negative 3. So in y1, I'm going to put y equals negative 5/3 of x minus 4. And I'm going to do the same thing for this guy. Solve it for x. Oops, that should be positive, shouldn't it? Glad I fixed that, because a negative over negative is positive. Yet forgive me, I am just wore out this morning. So 2x plus 6y is 9. Subtract the 6x. 6y is negative 2x plus 9. Divide by the 6th and reduce, preferably. Although if you're using a calculator, you don't have to. But I kind of teach math, so I'm going to. Negative 1/3 x plus 3/2. And again, you're using a calculator. You don't have to do that. You might get it wrong. I hope you understand that. Calculator don't care. Calculator does not judge you, even though I think it should, for not reducing fractions. It will not judge you. It will not like pop up on the screen and be like, what are you, dumb? No, it's not going to do that. If I made a calculator, it might. I would call it the TI-84 Explicit Edition, or the TI-84E, because it would not be nice to you. All right, so the equations are in Zoom 6. I really should get around to doing that one of these days. I am a computer programmer. Hack the software, create an interface that just gets on to you for doing things like -1 plus 5. Like, no. You should be like, bruh, I'm not going to answer that for you. Anyways, I did second trace 5, intersect, press enter 3 times. And there you go. There's your intersection. And there were no window adjustments. This one didn't need them. We just did a Zoom 6. We saw our intersection. It's 2 lines. There can only be one intersection. And the x value is about 2.75. Simple enough. 3, solve the polynomial inequality. These are a little bit harder. This is 2x to the 4th. And I don't have to do any adjustments to type these into y1 and y2. I'm just going to put the left in y1 and the right in y2. This is probably a w, which is what I wrote because I was thinking w in my head instead of a 3. And this is going to be start low, end high. Thankfully, the color additions make these so much easier. And when we get the shapes in here, we'll talk about it. I'm too tired to picture them in my head the way they need to look. So anyways, I just typed them, hit Zoom 6. And there is x to the 4th. It's got a little bit of w going on it. And it's asking where is the x to the 4th piece above what appears to be a straight line, even though it's not. Well, that's in words what it's asking. Where is the x to the 4th piece above the -3x cubed? Where is that true? Obviously, that's true from here to here. Okay, that's definitely true. From here to here, that's true. But you can kind of see that blue piece is below the red line right through here. I'm going to go ahead and do the easy half of it. I'm going to figure out this x value. So second trace 5 intersect. And enter, enter, enter will do it. And I got an x value of -0.5396. So x is greater than -0.5396. Because if I move to the right, it's not a parabola. This figure stays above the red line as I move right. But there's this piece in here. I've got to figure out what's going on. Where does the parabola get above the red line again? So I'm actually going to look up. I'm going to look up about 30 units and see if that's enough. I think it is. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to hit second trace 5. I'm going to get my little cursor over here somewhere. Enter, enter, enter. It was close to being enough. I actually needed to go up to 35. The TI-84, these new ones are kind of nice in that you actually don't have to see the intersection. The older ones you had to, but it looks to me like I needed a Y-max of 35 to actually see what I wanted to see. So the Y-max is 35. That's to see the full picture. And ridiculously hard to tell. But at some point in here, the blue line starts winning again. So let me go through that again. Second trace 5, intersect, cursor close, enter, enter, enter. And so long as x is less than -1.9538. Well, here's my inequalities. I am less than that or more than that. So if and remember I said or as an interval. So this inequality is -infinity all the way to -1.9538. Union with the other inequality, which is -0.5396 to infinity. And I will probably make whatever's on your quiz not as rough, but this is a practice sheet, so who cares? It can be a little bit harder. Solve the exponential equation. That's something we'll be doing after we get back in January, learn how to do these by hand. But a TI-84 can solve any real answer. They can find any real solution. Put the 3 to the 4x minus 3 in y1 and a 12 in y2. You will have to look up. I can tell you that right now. You're going to have to look up. I'm going to set my y max to be 15. 3 parenthesis rooftop. Let me put that in the right spot too. 3 rooftop key, 4x minus 3, and 12 in y2. I'm going to do my zoom 6. I'm not going to see y equals 12, the horizontal line. So I'm going to look up. You know, that knowing that y equals 12 is a horizontal line, that really affects a lot of kids because they don't know how to adjust the window. There's y equals 12. It's right there. And sure enough, if you count the ticks, there'll be 12 of them. Anyways, I adjusted my y max to be 15 so I could see it. Then at second trace 5 intersect. You're going to use that a lot. You're going to get close, and you're going to press enter 3 times. And the intersection is about 1.3155. And you can kind of tell by looking at the graph that they're not ever going to intersect again. It's not going to happen. This thing shoots up to infinity. 5, solve the logarithm equation. So we will be doing logarithms in January too. And a T84 is great for those of you who just cannot get the algebra down. But there is a log button. If you look right next to the 7, you'll see it, LOG. Log of 3x plus 4 plus log of x minus 2, y1. I should write that down. And in y2, the x squared minus 8. So we're going to see the intersection of a logarithm, which is an exponential graph. It actually looks like the letter R. Logs look like R's. And x squared minus 8, which is your parabola, which a lot of y'all are still struggling with. And we'll just do a zoom 6. Aha, there we go. I said R's. The calculators don't actually draw logarithms correctly. It doesn't look like there'll be an intersection, but there is. This is missing. A TI-84 does not draw logarithms correctly. It does not complete graph of a log. It just doesn't do it. And of course, obviously, I'll be teaching you how to graph these things by hand. So maybe some of you will realize that. But there is an intersection. It's over here somewhere. Second trace 5. Take my little cursor. Notice it hadn't even shown up yet. This is about as close as I can get it. Enter, enter, enter. There's the intersection. Really, it didn't get me the second one. Huh, okay, there is a second adjustment. There is a second intersection. I am really shocked that this TI-84 couldn't do it. Let me try this again. I'm going to hit second trace this time, go back to intersect. I'm going to change my y1 to y2. I know there's another intersection. If there's not, we'll pull up Desmos and I'll have to prove it to you. It did the same thing. Well, oh, this stinks. The old TI-84s would find this. The new ones are just not as good as the old ones after all. Finally found their weakness. Alright, so here's a cool little site. It's called Desmos.com. It actually does graph things correctly. I told you there was another intersection. I'm really shocked your TI-84 can't do it. There's the other one. That's why. That's the vertical asymptote. Okay, good. This actually is an intersection. This is a vertical asymptote. So Desmos has the problem. All right, cool. That one's done. The TI-84 was actually right. Nice. All right, I'm going to pause this video, make sure I don't lose it, because I've done 5 of them. And I'll come back and finish this thing.